Good Friday morning, everybody. It's time to talk about the markets with Jim Cramer on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. All right, Jim, we know Fridays are risky for stocks, but maybe not this one.
Well, it's early. Yeah, it's a long day. I do feel that the market has run a tremendous amount. Doug Cass and I talking about that. And, it's run a tremendous amount, and the stuff that brought it down is the same as the stuff that brought it up, so it's kind of ironic. But I do want people to be a little more circumspect here because the run has been so fantastic that we're looking for things to sell in action alert, scrutinizing everything, because we put a huge amount of money to work last Thursday. And we're not traders, but we're cognizant that a lot of our stocks have just jumped to perhaps unsustainable levels for now or have to mark time. And we want to raise a little cash just because we put so much to work.
And you bring up the run in stocks this morning in real money. You say nothing's really changed except things have gotten worse.
Well, I mean, yeah, I look at the same things that drove the market down on Thursday, which was the pivot day last week, were the things that brought it up, meaning that people got more optimistic about something they've been pessimistic about. And we do have the Korean talks, that's positive, but we also have to recognize that NAFTA is now suddenly back on the griddle as questioning whether there can be any real resolution NAFTA, and Wilbur Ross was very hard line this week about China. So I'm just asking for people to be to use this morning rally to find something to sell. There you go.
And just because there hasn't been any glaring news about trade, those worries are still in the background.
Yeah, and I think that they could be in the foreground. So I just, we'll read my real money piece, but the emphasis is that just find a little something to sell.
All right, we'll talk about what you guys are doing for Action Alerts Plus in our later video. Meanwhile, Jim, there's a note this morning from Nomura on Tesla going to $500 a share.
Yeah, that's a short busting call. Basically said there's a huge short position that the narrative is going to change from money loser to company vision making a lot of cars. And I questioned the note. I didn't find there was anything in it other than psychological and sentiment from Nomura. But I will say this, I totally understand the idea of gunning the stock. Is just not my style.
And you've long maintained that Tesla is a cult stock.
Yeah, you know, I don't have anything to offer. Like Herbalife when it was Ackman versus Carl. I don't have anything to offer. I remind people that I did love Scott Wapner's book, When Wolves Bite. It's just a terrific book at really about what happens when you have a battleground stock and how little has to do with Herbalife and how much has to do with the egos. And I think Tesla's like that. I know it is.
Scott will be at our deal conference in June, so we look forward to that. Meanwhile, Jim, last night on Mad Money, you highlight the four horsemen of biotech. I'll just point them out: Biogen, Celgene, Regeneron, and Gilead.
Yeah, and we felt that Biogen and Regeneron were too cheap, and Regeneron's up nicely today because of that piece. And I find that they're all arguably cheap, but I don't have a catalyst for Celgene. I don't have a catalyst for Gilead. Regeneron's got a pretty good pipe, and so does Biogen. Obviously, if Biogen could somehow have real success against Alzheimer's, that's the holy grail no one's had any success against.
And we should point out President Trump speaking about drug pricing today.
Yeah, you know, look, it's always difficult to try to figure out whether the PBMs lower the prices, whether there could be more competition, how do you pit drug companies against each other, more transparency. I think that's all good. I believe the model will end up being what Jeff Bezos does with Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett in their company that they're putting together to cut healthcare costs. That's the one I want to know.
Do we call them the Troika?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jim, last night you also spoke to the CEO of Groupon, another company using AI.
I like Groupon so much. I think that Groupon is a platform now. They've got Coursehorse for courses. They've got great platforms for the platforms used for Grubhub. And I find that entertainment, Major League Baseball, the stock is just hideously undervalued, but people are still dealing with the legacy. Rich Williams has done so much to make that company into what I regard as a great company. 50 million people use it, and it's growing internationally. Didn't get to talk enough about that last night. I just think that Groupon is a terrific stock to own.
Jim, who do you have coming up on the show tonight?
I have NICE. One of my great themes here is cybersecurity. Proofpoint's been my favorite. Let's see what NICE has to say. And I have Prologis, another one of my themes, which is last mile. Warehouse is the last mile for the Amazons of the world to get your product. E-commerce play fabulous e-commerce play, consolidating the industry, not unlike what I said, EXPO is a great e-commerce play. My Cloud Kings are e-commerce plays. I'm staying focused on cloud and e-commerce and last mile. These are all big themes.
And for people who want a deeper dive into the turn of this market, Jim, you have your Action Alerts Plus call on Tuesday at 11:30.
Right, and what I want to do is just urge everyone, you can go to the Action Alerts Plus page, send me questions. I want to answer questions. I'll be answering questions, obviously, on the Tuesday call, but send me questions that I can answer on these calls, and I'm happy to do so.
All right, Jim and I are going to continue talking about stocks, and again, please join us on ActionAlertsPlus.com.